In a previous video, I took a Mastercam program that was set to cut one part and transitioned it into a program that cuts multiple parts. And in that, I was able to use multiple stock bodies as my stock definition inside of machine setup. So today in this video, we're going to talk about a few different ways that you can go about doing that. Typically what's done on single part programs is inside of our machine group setup, we'll head into our stock page. And if it's a simple block, we will just define a bounding box that encases our part and is as big as the piece of stock that we're using. And everything's pretty straightforward here, nothing out of the ordinary. Now, when we start stepping out into multiple parts and multiple setups, let's again hop into our machine group setup. We'll hop into our stock page. Now, there is not a way for us to go and make multiple bounding boxes. So I can make a bounding box that's consisting of one of the pieces or based on one of the pieces. But if I try to incorporate multiples, it just makes that bounding box bigger. It doesn't make two individual bounding boxes. Now you might be thinking, okay, let's just make multiple bounding boxes. So here's one defined, let's make another one. So let's grab this piece over here this time. And we have successfully made a new separate bounding box. And we do have two solids in the stock setup, but only one of these can be active at a time, noted by the green check. So we can define two stocks, but only one can be active. So how do we go about getting multiple stock bodies or solid bodies into our stock setup inside of the machine group setup? So to start exploring how we can do this, let's first look at the methods that we can use to define the stock inside of machine group setup. And we've got options here for add from two corners, create a rectangular stock, cylinder, bounding box. Those are all pretty much the same sort of concept. You're going to define the shape of something using some sort of method, and that's going to be the size and shape of a stock body that Mastercam will create. Going over one more tab, we've got this option here to add from a file. Now, if I click on this, we can add a file, and you might think, oh, fantastic, I can have a solid body out here that I've saved, and I can import that solid body. However, the only file type we can select is an STL. Now, I really don't want to go and make an STL of stock that I then save somewhere and have to track and maintain and manage. I'm personally not going to ever go out and grab an STL file, unless, of course, you've needed software to create the file, and that's one way to get that body in. This guy over here, add from selection. Well, let's have a look at what this says. Returns you to the graphics windows to select a solid, a mesh, or a stock model as the stock. And if we read further, if you select a stock model, it will be copied into mesh. There will be no associativity to the stock model operation after selected. So what does that all mean? I guess first off, I'll start by saying this. I cannot find a way to select a stock model directly for stock setup. I'm assuming this must be a feature that either is coming, or I simply don't know how to click on a stock model here. But this does give us a little hint as to what we can do manually. So at the bottom it says there, if you select a stock model, it will be copied into a mesh. Now there is a function. Let's hop out of this over here and let's go over to our toolpaths tab. And in our stock model section, from the pull down, there's a function called convert to mesh. So basically what is intended to happen in that stock setup is it's intending to take a stock model, convert it into a mesh, which you then can use inside of the stock setup page. Now, why does that all matter? We're going to come back to that in a minute, and we're going to start with our first option in stock setup, and that's said to select a solid body. So I've switched parts here for this demo, and what we've got here is this part, and let's assume that the profile of this part is, say, water jet cut or flame cut, and all we need to do is machine the features into that shape. So bounding box wouldn't work because bounding box would make a rectangle of this shape, and we want just the outer profile. So what we can do there is a bunch of different ways we can get the profile of this into a solid block. We could duplicate this solid and do some model prep and remove the features. Or what I think is the easiest way is just to create a silhouette boundary of this part and then extrude that into a solid, which I've already done over here on level 20. Let's turn that on. And there you can see that there's a solid to represent what the stock would look like that we want to machine from. So all we need to do here is add this to our stock setup, just like these steps would say. And now when we take our 2D high-speed toolpath here and launch into verify, we're simulating from that solid shape. But what happens when, let's go over into our levels over here. If we get a second part, let's say we wanted to machine 2 of these on our table at once, and we wanted to set it up like this on our machine. And our toolpaths now going to look like, let's add some geometry to this. Let's go and grab, say, these same 2 faces. So how can I see simulation over here? So we can obviously take that original simulated stock model that we made, or solid model we made, and move it over here, which I've done over here. So there we've got a solid for the stock on our part number 2, and a solid for our stock of part number 1. But again, we can't add both of these at the same time. So I could click on this solid body and this solid body and hit end. Notice we're getting both of the solids in here, but we can only use one of them at a time. So the common workaround is to join those 2 solids into one. So let's go to our levels here and turn off the parts, part 1 and part 2. And I'm just left with the 2 solids that represent the solid stocks, so to say. And we can combine them using a function called Boolean. But Boolean will not work if these 2 solids are not touching each other. So if you want to use this Boolean method, you have to cheat a little bit. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy these over to a different level, and I'll explain this cheat. So let's copy this over to level 50. And turn off those other levels. Let's turn off our toolpaths here just so they're not getting in the way. So we're working with the copy of our part here on level 50 that's got 2 individual blocks. Now how do we join these so that we can use a Boolean? And commonly what will be done is a little thread is kind of stuck in between them. Now there's different ways you can go about doing it. I'm going to use this method here, which is just creating a line between the two bodies. And I just need something in the middle of a feature just so the line doesn't, we want to make sure that it does contact fully with both models. I'm just using temporary midpoints there to get the line into the middle of both those arcs. I'm going to hit OK. And now this line, this thread, we can extrude it. And I'm going to grab that line entity. And this looks odd right now, but basically what we want to do over here is the distance. We'll make this something very, very small. Let's say 1,000. And because I've only selected a line, automatically thin wall will get turned on. And you do need this turned on, otherwise you can't make a solid body. And same thing, I'm going to make this very, very small, just 1,000. Now with this being so small, being only 1,000 in both directions, I would do a add boss at this time, as clicking on this thread in a Boolean operation is going to be a little tricky. So I'm going to do an add boss here. And it doesn't matter which stock it gets applied to, just as long as it's on to one of the bodies, doesn't matter which one, and green check. So now when we hop into our Boolean operation, select a target, let's grab that guy, select one or more tools, we'll grab this guy. And again, this thread was already joined to this body over here previously, so I don't have to click on it. And again, if you're finding that you're trying to click this thread and it's very, very hard, do the add boss right out of the gate and you can avoid that. Let's click end selection and we'll green check. And let's go to our solids tab. So here's the copy of stock number 1. And if we look inside of it, there's the body, there's an extrude, there's the Boolean, and there's the other stock. Okay, so let's now go and let's actually rename this. And into our stock setup. Let's get rid of that guy, do a selection. And notice now when I even hover over either of these bodies, both of them highlight because they are in fact joined with that thread. Green check. And let's grab our single toolpath, hop into verify, and there we're seeing both parts. And now we can actually see toolpaths running on both of them for full verification and simulation. Okay, but there is an easier way. Let's turn that toolpath off again. And we kind of alluded to it just by reading through this when it says stuff about mesh, and that's what we're about to try next. So hopping back over to our levels tab, I'm going to turn on the active level as our new level 60. Let's turn off level 50. That was the Boolean solids. Let's turn on again stock for part 1 and stock for part 2. Select both and copy these over to level 60. Turn the visibility of 60 off, and we'll turn the visibility of the other two off. So now we're just dealing with these two solids. Again, two individual solids. These guys have not been Booleaned. And what we're going to use here is a mesh function. Mesh from entities. Okay, and we want to make sure that, be careful what you select here, because by default, both these modes are turned on, face and body selection. So I'm going to just turn off face. So I know I'm getting the body of this solid and the body of this solid. And selection. There we've got the two solids selected. And down here, we've got the option to combine these into a single mesh, which is the key behind all of this. Turning these things into a mesh is taking both of these things and turning them into a single mesh. Now, the benefit of this is they don't need to be touching. We don't need to create a thread. They just need to exist, and that's all we need. And then the solids that we're using to drive this mesh, we can either keep them or delete them. I'm going to delete them just so I don't have extra stuff floating around. If you are to keep them, I would suggest keeping the solids on one level and the resulting meshes on another. But I'm going to go ahead and just delete the solids, so I'm only left with one entity on this level. And notice the cursor icon. That's the icon for a mesh. Let's go into our stock setup again. Let's get rid of that Boolean part. And I'm going to go in from a selection. Again, look at the visual cue. That's the cue for mesh. And both of them are selected together because they are only one mesh entity. Let's green check. Let's hop into verification again. And same thing we saw with those Boolean solids. We're getting two bodies joined together for verification. This time, again, we don't have that thread. And sticking with this part, I'll do one more demo on this part here. And that's what if you don't want to use this stock setup at all? So some programmers never touch this, don't want to use it. And that's a possibility as well. And what we can do there, let me just go back to my levels manager. I'm going to turn on the levels for our two individual solids that represent the two individual stocks. And what we can do in here, I'm going to create a stock model. And in our stock models, we have the option to select models to define the shape of the stock. So let's go ahead and do that now using our selection. And again, making sure that we are in body selection, or just pay attention to the visual cue you're getting. Select both solid bodies and selection. And we can just call this starting stock for both. And obviously no operations to apply to this, just green check. And now we have a stock model that is both bodies. And to verify that, let me just go back to the levels manager, turn on just the visibility of the one part. And our toolpath will toggle the display of that stock model on and off. And there you can see what it is we've selected. So how do we go about getting this stock model into our simulation? We just need to make sure that we grab the stock model as the first thing in our selection to launch into verify with. And as long as that's selected, let me just confirm nothing is in our stock setup over here. Let me just get rid of that mesh. Okay, and if I select only the toolpath and launch into verify, I get the default stock that just encases the toolpath, since no stock is defined. But if I include that stock model and that stock model is as the first thing selected, when we launch into verify, we'll get both pieces. So that's the other workaround for multi-body, is not even using stock setup at all, is just using a stock model. So now to come full circle as to what we pointed out here in the stock setup initially, and reading through the prompt here about being able to select a stock model, but that stock model being converted into a mesh. So again, I've got that stock model on screen. I can go into my select mode and I can't click on the stock model. I can click on the underlined solid body. I can't go into my toolpath manager and select the stock model over here. So again, I'm not sure how to select a stock model other than converting the stock model into a mesh and then selecting that mesh. And let's give an example of that. So let's say as a stock model, for whatever reason, I want to include these toolpaths into my next part of my stock. And I want that stock to be in my stock setup. So let me go ahead and make a new stock model. This is say mid machined. And the initial stock shape is going to be the stock model, this guy that we just defined. And we're going to apply a toolpath to it, this guy over here. Green check. I'm going to make a new level over here. And this is going to be our mid-machining stock. Okay, let's give this a different level. Let's go up to level 70. Okay, so there you can see that model on screen. It's got the profile that we've defined, and it's got the 2 features machined in it. And with that stock model selected, I'm going to say convert this to a mesh. Okay, and that's happened. Let's look at our levels manager. There is one entity on that level. Okay, let's turn the visibility of this stock model off. And there you can see that mesh. It's got that bluish tint to it, right? That's how we know it's a mesh. You can see my colors over here. The mesh is coming out at that color. And now in my stock setup, I can come in and select that mesh. Okay, and then let's say that we got another toolpath in here. And let's grab, we'll grab that face. So now if we launch into this toolpath over here, and we're going to see both those stock models brought in with those features in them that were represented by the mesh. So this is useful for situations where you want to do a complete machining process on side 1, have a stock model that you can then export as a mesh and use that as an op2 starting stock that you can actually upload and use in the stock setup. So coming full circle back to this part over here, let's hop into the stock setup, and you can see for this multi-vice setup, I did not define any stock at all. And I am in fact using a stock model that has the defined shapes of the stock in them for ops 1 and 2. And then on the flip side, on the palette down here, what I've used over here is I've created a mesh that is all of the parts in a single mesh body and add that into the stock setup. So hopefully that explains a few different options on different ways to bring multi-body stock setups into your programming through either using stock models or combining solids with Booleans, or by defining a mesh body consisting of multiple solid stocks.